Yet another sleepless night haunted Marin, although this time she'd participated in more than translating ancient texts. Eonok had calmed down shortly after midnight, yet they couldn't simply go to sleep. They first brought Jada and Diego to an untouched building. There were more standing than Marin figured, mostly along the northern perimeter. Then, Marin and Mav collected the mine employees and families. After they'd found a place to stay, one dorm was intact. A few people volunteered to look for the employees who attacked the Titans. Mav joined them, but Marin stayed behind with Colton to hold a small video conference with the supporters and autonomous sects. Marin wasn't sure what was worse, rummaging around through corpses in hopes they found a survivor, or dealing with the Titanian Church. Marin tried to throw that thought away as she gave her report. Jada and Diego had nearly died holding the Titans back and protecting hundreds of innocent people. Maybe these church leaders were just as altruistic? By the time dawn greeted them, so did the search party. The searchers held grim faces as well as gurneys with unmoving bodies, including a bloodied figure of Julio, whose corpse sported several deep gouges in his neck and chest. "The idiot," Colton whispered, voice quivering alongside his shoulders. After everyone had been accounted for, the facts were clear. None had survived. The enforcers of that justice slept in the middle of the camp. The Titans took roost on the buildings that Eonok had shattered. There was a vivid trepidation in the camp, but no one dared curse the Holy Titans, not after they'd finally calmed. Besides, if it weren't for the aggressors who tried to kill the Titans never would have attacked the camp itself. Really, it was Julio and his gang's fault. Not that everyone could simply shake it off, or even accept that. Several children were still crying, many adults staring into nothingness. Several friends of the aggressors mourned, cursing their friends' stupidity, themselves for not stopping them, or even the Titans. Marin didn't know, but sometimes it felt good to scream into the heavens, just hoping someone was listening. By 10, several representatives from both the supporters and the autonomous sects arrived, alongside someone Marin never expected. The CFO of Seco Research, Natasha Davis, flanked by 2 peacekeepers. Marin shook her head, smirking as Mav tried to take a look at them. Excited like a kid in a game shop, hoping to see Coda. Coda was not one of the guards, as he still technically hadn't sworn his oath to becoming a peacekeeper. That didn't stop Mav from being disappointed, though. It was another reminder of what Marin had taken him from, and guilt made her cringe as she reflected on the way she'd acted towards him over the last 5-6 days. Most church members went to take care of Jada and Diego, while a couple others called for a meeting. A priest and a deacon from each set, Natasha Davis, Colton, Teresa, Marin, Mav, and even the Titans gathered in the lot where Marin had saved the group of injured workers. "One more time," a supporter priest said, a tall, pale man with a hooked nose. "And your thoughts on the matter as well?" Recalling the events again was so exhausting, Marin nearly fell asleep, even in the middle of her own story. But she had to keep alert. This was a crucial conversation for many people's livelihoods. "We shall conduct a further investigation," the hooked-nosed priest said. "But it all seems to fit so far. Julio Morales instigated an attack on the Titans. Either they hoped they could scare the Divine Ones away or kill them, in the hopes Bishop, Jada, and Diego would find no Titans around, and thereby allowing you to mine." Teresa nodded, sniffling, while Colton said in a gruff voice, "Yes, most likely." The hooked-nosed man turned to the pair. "Please, children, do not mourn such a heretic. He chose violence toward the Titans, nearly killing one of them." He gestured towards Thekon, whose green skin was marred by a nasty burn. "Death is better than he deserved." "Of course, Father," Colton said in a voice no less rough. "But that's that, isn't it?" an autonomous priest said, a small woman with silky coal-black hair and a wide chin. "The Titans live here. There's a sacred spot beneath the mountain that they're protecting. So the mine should shut down right away." There is a sacred cave beneath the surface, yes, Marin said. But it's about 1.5 miles down. Trust me, I remember the fall. And it is plenty far enough away from the mountain. So? The wide-chinned woman said. If the Titans didn't want the mining, they wouldn't have attacked their vehicles. Eonok, Aetir, and Thekon attacked Colton's equipment and the vehicles because they were already on edge, Marin said, patting Eonok's tired face. Marin then glared at Natasha Davis. They were angry because of what Seko Research did to Eonok's cub, Raskin. It was a tricky line to walk, knowing about this while still pleading ignorance of the events that transpired in Seko's basement. At least now they could use the excuse that their connection with Eonok told them everything they needed to learn. As I've told the court, peacekeepers, police, supporters, the rest of the Titanian Church, and the public at large, Natasha began, deep bags under her eyes and her dark skin muted, I always was against what David was doing with the baby Titan. I am now aiding to fix his and my mistakes in whatever way I can, which is why I tore myself from my bed in the middle of the night and I'm here now. Or you're just trying to cover your ass while throwing others under the bus. Natasha looked away from Marin and Eonok, grimacing. What remains of Seko Research will aid wherever we can, with complete oversight by the Church, of course. That should first and foremost go to rebuilding the region of the forest where our honored siblings fell, the hooked-nosed man said. As I recall, there's now a massive depression in that region, where much of the trees and flora were uprooted and desecrated. Mav nodded. The destruction is small, thankfully, but if we're keeping that area safe, the hole needs better filling. It will take some time to get the proper equipment and materials, but we can manage, Natasha said. And the miners? Mav asked. What about them? Are you really going to shut down the operation? My dear brother, the wide-chinned woman said. How can we not? Even if the Blessed Titans attacked the vehicles because they were enraged by Seko's horrendous actions, this spot is still sacred to them. Mav sighed, shoulders slouching. Another tear slid down Teresa's cheek, while Colton adopted a haunted 1,000-yard stare. Why don't you check out the cavern first? Marin said. And what would that do, dear sister? The wide-chinned woman said. See how far their sacred area goes. Anything far enough away from that cavern should still be alright to work in, right? Mav looked at her, brow furrowed in confusion. Colton and Teresa looked like they dared not hope Marin meant what she was saying. Any region the Titans deem sacred cannot be damaged by the works of humans, the wide-chinned woman said. What if their sacred space doesn't reach the mountain? Marin asked. Will the entirety of the mountain be off limits? Of course. Why? The woman sputtered. Why? Because the mountain is over the cavern. And I am not sure if you have realized or simply forgotten, but miners dig in, then down. I'm aware, but we don't know that the mountain's directly over it. The cavern seemed to go in a straight line, but I'm not sure how much of it I saw. And when we came out, we were to the southwest of the campground, not to the north. Your point? If the cavern's straight, then it'll end up southeast of the camp, which is still a ways north of the mountain. I'd see no reason why CC Corp wouldn't be allowed to at least dig on the southern side of the mountain. Colton's and Teresa's eyes were wide, hands folded as if in prayer, seemingly not breathing by how still they stood. Mav, however, looked away with a little smirk. It is worth an investigation, I'd say, the hooked-nosed man said. If the sacred space boundary is far enough away from the mountain, we can draw plans for where CC Corp can and cannot dig. But that is only after a thorough investigation. That's good enough, Your Holiness, Colton stammered. He bowed. Thank you for your generosity and understanding. In the meantime, Marin said, I think Seko should also fund the restoration of the campground and pay the medical bills for those injured in the attack. Natasha's eyes flashed. I see no reason why we should pay for all of that. You said you wanted to fix your mistakes, correct? The company's mistakes. If I remember, Julio Morales was not an employee of Seko. Julio's attack was just the tipping point. If Seko hadn't tortured Razgan, Eonok would not have destroyed the camp even with Julio attacking. You can't be sure of that. If her testimony is true, the hooked-nosed man said, and I have every reason to believe it, with how the Titans cling to them, then she knows exactly how our divine Eonok feels. Marin nodded to him. Eonok would have only killed her assailants. If Razgan had interlinked with that child like he wanted to, Eonok wouldn't have been so distraught. So really, it all goes back to Seko. Mav gave her an expectant look. What else did he want her to say? That was all there was to it. It's not an unreasonable assessment, the wide-chinned woman said. But I'm more interested in preparing the investigation of the cavern. We should also begin clearing away the rubble and see what's salvageable in the camp, Colton said. The Titans shuffled, faces expectant. Cool, Marin said. It looks like they want to help.